Chapter 4 is what happens when you damage tissue. Most tissue has a good blood supply to it, so almost always if you are going to damage a tissue, you are going to also damage a blood vessel that is bringing nutrients to it. So whenever there is tissue trauma, there's going to be inflammation of that area. And inflammation is caused by dilation of blood vessels. We're bringing nutrients to that spot. We're trying to make those blood vessels very big so that the nutrients and oxygen and everything can get to those tissue cells so that they can work to replicate and repair that tissue trauma. We also have increased vessel permeability, meaning that the blood vessels become more permeable. Things can get in or out a little bit easier. There's always redness, heat, swelling, and pain. We know if we hurt a tissue, twist an ankle, etc., that we're going to have some pain and swelling. And then for the blood vessel that gets torn or broken, we have these things in our blood called platelets. And platelets are going to catch on the edge of the blood vessel and form a plug so that you don't bleed out. Then once the tissue is going to repair or starts to repair, we have to organize and restore our blood supply. So we're going to fix our blood vessel first by clotting the blood and then regenerating those cells so that that blood is no longer leaking out. That's where a blood clot comes in. And then we're going to start to regenerate all of the different tissue types. And so it says epithelium regenerates. If it's connective tissue, it's going to regenerate also muscles, etc. Eventually, we're going to have fibrous tissue come in. And when we have fibrous tissue, we have to remember that not all of our tissue is fibrous in nature, just the connective tissue. So when connective tissue comes in and starts to connect the portion of the tissue that is torn, it is going to look different than the rest of the surrounding tissue. And that's where scars come in. So when you have a scar on your skin, you are looking at epithelial tissue that has been replaced by connective tissue, and that's why it looks different than the normal epithelial tissue that should be there. And then finally, we are going to connect all of the tissue. We're going to regenerate anything that we can. In this case, we're regenerating the epithelial tissue. You've got some scar tissue that's always going to be left behind. It will usually, if the damage is not so great, the scar tissue will then be reabsorbed in your body. And you can see now that the blood vessel is whole again, and we're bringing all of the correct blood supply and nutrients to that tissue.